Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days, or today's second video. And that's going to take us into the start of December. I think it gets around the 3rd of December, actually, in 10 days' time. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. And we'll look at CFSV2, which takes us into the second half of December, just about beginning though what's happening in the tropical Atlantic with a very, very late tropical storm. So more about that very shortly. Just say, but weekend forecast has been released, so that's your weekend look ahead, and it's going to be unsettled again. There's going to be more rain to come, unfortunately, in the days ahead before it possibly turns a little bit drier and colder towards the end of the week. But have a look at weekend forecast, see what's going on there. Got the CFS 6 months look ahead coming up for you tonight. That's just for fun. It's taking us from next month, from December right the way through to May next year. So that will be up for you this evening. Loads of updates coming up tomorrow as well. We're going to start off with the 13th and final winter update. We're going analogs crazy for that. We're going to have more analogs in that than we've ever had a single update before. So that'll be 10 AM tomorrow, and just loads more coming up. There'll be the ECMWF Metro France DWD seasonal model update tomorrow, as well as a Christmas update and a live stream on YouTube. It's going to be one of those days where it's just update after update. So hope you find all of today's and tomorrow's videos interesting and informative. Right, let's get on with this video though, and we're going to begin in the tropical Atlantic. So this is Tropical Storm Sebastian. Just here we have Tropical Storm Sebastian in the middle of the tropical Atlantic Ocean. Very, very late to get a tropical storm, 23rd of November. If we click on Sebastian, we can see what the forecast is from the National Hurricane Center. So the current position of Tropical Storm Sebastian just there. This is forecast to remain as a tropical storm over the weekend, and eventually by Monday, the National Hurricane Center has it bearing down on the Azores. The Azores had quite a few of these storms over the past, over this season, over the past few weeks, months, of course. This is another one that looks like it's heading towards the Azores. So a couple of days ago, this was forecast to reach Category 1 hurricane status on Friday, yesterday. I don't think it ever did. I think it stayed as a tropical storm, and as far as we can see, it looks like it's staying as a tropical storm up to Monday, where it's bearing down on the Azores. So Sebastian is giving maximum sustained winds of 65 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 997 millibars and heading east-northeast at 17 miles an hour. So moving quite quickly. That's where it is right now. By Monday, the National Hurricane Center has it somewhere around there, moving in towards the Azores. So that's quite a movement in just a couple of days. So we'll be keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Sebastian, of course. Maybe it will strengthen up to a Category 1 hurricane. We'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, looks like this will stay as a tropical storm, reaching the Azores on Monday. Central temperature is looking like this, so we only have 1 week of November left, of course, and provisionally up to yesterday, 22nd of November, we are sitting at 6.2, an anomaly of nearly 1 degree below average, 0.8 degrees below average. So where's this going to finish up? I've been causing all sorts of questions over the past few days where this is going to finish up. At the moment, we're pinpointing somewhere around 6.0 to 6.5. So somewhere in the low sixes is where we think this is going to finish up, quite close to where we actually are right now. But it's going to tick up a little bit over the next 2 or 3 days. It's going to be relatively mild from tomorrow through to Tuesday. But then in the second half of the week, it gets colder again. And we are expecting quite a large downwards correction with this as well. So it'll probably tick up to around, let's say it ticks up to around 6.5 or 6.6 by the middle part of the week. But then we'll probably shave another couple of tenths of a degree off that through sort of Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it's probably going to be downwards correction of around 0.3 of a degree, 0.3 of a degree as well. So I think somewhere around 6.0 is probably where this is going to finish, maybe a little bit above that. But it's certainly going to be a slightly cooler than average November. I think the anomaly is going to come out below average, both with 61 to 1990 and to 81 to 2010. And we really aren't all that far from being sub 6. I wouldn't totally rule out the chance that this might come out at around 5.9, but I think that may be a little bit too much. I think it'll be somewhere in the low 6s, but a rather cold November, definitely. Right, so these are the 500 millibar high anomaly flowcharts from the Penn State University. We have got for the next week, 10 days, we have got the ECM WF here on the top, but we haven't got today the GFS on the bottom. That is missing again today, but we have got the GFS, the ECM I should say, so we'll concentrate on that. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly for the 7 to 10 day time frame from the ECM WF via the Penn State University. Takes us up to the beginning of December. Red is extrapolated to above average heights, which is low pressure, and blue extrapolates to below average heights, which is low pressure. So we can see that we have this area of above average heights here through the North Atlantic up towards Greenland, with below average heights, that's high pressure of course, below average heights, which is low pressure, sitting to our east, and a deep trough of low pressure actually just there as well. So the flow with this is doing something a little bit like that. It looks like we're on the cold side of the jet stream there, and bring the winds in from sort of a northwesterly to almost northerly direction. So this is our little cold snap that we're likely to have at the end of November and into the beginning of December. Just a little bit of a cold snap coming up. It may not last all that long. This is a very deep trough of low pressure in the Atlantic. That's putting the ridge under pressure, and it will probably in the end sort of roll in and break that ridge down and take us back to unsettled conditions again as we go further through the first week of December. But for a while anyway, we are going to have a little bit of a cold snap in around a week's time. And we see that within the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're on Watton today, and that's in Norfolk. So, red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Watton. By the way, this is another suggested location for this section of the video. So if you'd like to have your local town or city featured within this part of the video, then please let us know. And excuse me, we're happy to add you to the list of suggested locations. We've got several to get through, so it may take a little while to get round to your location, but we will add you to the list, and we will get you in the end. You can ask us to add your location to our list of suggested locations, either through the comments at GazOvins, or email us at gazovins@gmail.com, or via our Facebook and Twitter accounts. We're very contactable, so it's easy enough to ask us to add you to the list, and we will put you down, and we will feature your suggested location for this section of the video. So anyway, back to the ensemble. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Watton, starting off above average at the moment. The next few days are going to be quite mild up to around the middle of the week. Then we have this drop in the temperature. So this drop in the temperatures here is the little cold snap I was talking about from like the very end of November into the opening days of December. Let's say from around the 29th of November to around the 2nd or 3rd of December. That is a little bit of a cold snap. After that, it looks like the temperature is lifting up and becoming milder as we go further through the first week of December, although there is quite a bit of scatter there. Some of these ensemble members are keeping things quite cold. But I think overall the trend through the first week of December is to turn things milder. Staying unsettled, too, going to be more rainfall spikes coming up, especially around here. That's around Tuesday. Could be quite a deluge on Tuesday. And then generally just quite unsettled after that. Even with this little cold snap, there are precipitation spikes involved in that. So even then it won't be completely dry as it turns colder. And of course, if there's precipitation around, it's turning colder. There might be a little bit of winter potential for some northern parts of the country. Temperature anomalies from the 22nd to probably 22nd of November to the 30th. These were last updated last night, I think. So temperature anomalies from the 22nd of November to the 30th of November are coming out a little bit above average. Milder than average for the UK. Most parts of Europe also milder than average as well. Precipitation anomalies wetter than average for England and Wales, but drier than average for northern and western parts of Scotland. That's how the GFS is looking for Tuesday. This is all covered by weekend forecast, of course. This area of low pressure just here could give us a deluge, again, particularly focusing on England and Wales, from Tuesday through to Wednesday. There's below sitting across the country on Wednesday, being very unsettled conditions. As that low clears away, Thursday through to Friday, we get this little extension of high pressure down from the north and begin to turn things drier but also colder in the second half of the week. There's likely to be a return of overnight frost. Then we've got this area of low pressure just here. Now, this is a bit of a troublemaker, this low. We've got a ridge that's trying to keep us dry but cold, but this low is coming into that ridge. We're very unsure how much influence that low is going to have. It may be that the low just sort of slips away harmlessly into France. That is what I would expect is going to happen from that low. But if the low starts to push in that sort of direction, it will be coming into quite cold air. So the potential is there for northern areas. If the low gets far enough north, the potential is there next weekend for some wintry weather with that low. But I think it's mainly going to be cold rain in the far southwest, and then giving us a glancing blow before it moves off into France. By the time we get through to Sunday, we're under this ridge of high pressure. That will be quite a cold ridge of high pressure, so plenty of frost and fog associated with that. But as we move up towards day 10, the high then begins to slip south, starts to relocate and centre over France, and that begins to allow milder air to come in over the top from off the Atlantic. So it's only a brief cold snap, and then by day 10, which is Tuesday the 3rd of December, we are back into a milder westerly flow. And then the GFS really starts to unleash the Atlantic. Look at this. As we go through the first week of December, we find very, very stormy conditions beginning to develop and cold zonality. So we've got the high pressure slipping away from us to the south and west. These areas of low pressure are deepening to our north, and the jet stream is lining up northwest to southeast. So although it's a westerly, and although low pressure is dominating, it's a rather cold variety of westerly winds, as the air is actually originating from the North Atlantic and from Greenland. And these areas of low pressure are quite deep as well, so they could bring gales for the north, potentially severe gales at times. It's a kind of scenario that can dump a lot of snow over the Scottish mountains. So I know we do have people watching from the ski resorts, and this could get the skiing season off to a real flyer, actually, if this cold zonal flow sets up. Down in the south, what tends to happen with this is that you stay on the rain side of marginal. So cold zonality isn't normally particularly good for snow across southern parts of the country, but in the north, particularly over the mountains and the hills, there can be quite a lot of snow from these sort of cold zonal flows. But I think the main thing will probably be bands of rain, but fast-moving bands of rain this time. They whistle through quite quickly on a strong jet stream and on a strong west-northwesterly wind, and the potential for things to start getting rather stormier as well, because although we've had a very unsettled autumn, we have had a lot of rain this autumn. One notable absentee from this autumn has been particularly stormy weather. So the areas of low pressure tending to be tracking further south of normal and tended to not be overly stormy. There have been a few gales around, but it's not been a particularly stormy autumn, even though it's been a very wet autumn. But we could be starting to see signs that things are really starting to crank up there through the first week of December in terms of those gale force winds. Maybe we'll start getting some named storms from the UK Met and Met Air. We'll have to wait and see about that. that. This is that's all extended range though. Remember, so anything over 10 days is unreliable. This is the GEM. So again, we've got more low pressure through the early part of the coming week. Tuesday to Wednesday looks like there could be a bit of a deluge for England, Wales in particular. That low then clears away through Thursday and Friday. We've got this ridge building down from the north. That's drying us out in the second half of the week, but also turning us colder as well. And then there's that low pressure down to the southwest by Saturday. Again, this is coming into quite cold air. It's how far north that gets as to whether there's any wintry weather with that for the northern part of the country. If it gets that far north, what the GEM actually does with this is that on Saturday it has it just to the southwest of Ireland, but then by Sunday it has it over northern France. So it's just sort of given us a glancing blow and then cleared away in towards France. But if it was to go northwards, if it's go up to northern England, particularly up to Scotland, then there could be snow with that as it hits the cold air. Eventually, though, by day 10, the GEM is re-establishing a milder west-southwesterly flow. So by day 10, the 3rd of December, we are back into milder conditions across the whole country for winds coming in from the west and from the southwest. This is the ECMWF. And again, same idea, very, very unsettled through the early and middle part of the coming week, particularly wet Tuesday to Wednesday. That low then clears away Thursday to Friday. This ridge builds down from the north, turns us drier and colder in the second half of the week. There's that low again, trying to get in from off the Atlantic, but bumping into that cold air and high pressure, just sort of slipping down towards the west of France and the Bay of Biscay, so not much influence from that low. As we go towards day 10, though, the ECM shows another low diving down the North Sea. Now, I'm not sure any of the other models have this feature, but we've got a low diving down the North Sea. It's within quite cold air as well, so that could bring some wintry potential to northern and northeastern parts of the country. You wouldn't rule out the chance of some snow in the north and the northeast from that low pressure. Otherwise, probably rain pushing down into the south. And then by day 10, we're under this little ridge of high pressure, which will keep us quite cold, turns a bit drier. You notice that west-southwesterlies are waiting in the wings. If we could run on another 24 hours, they would probably push in across the country and turn us milder by the 4th of December. This is a precipitation forecast with that ECM run from tameteo.com today. So a showery burst of rain around today, quite wet across many parts of the country. It's a very grim old November day today. Into tomorrow, that low pressure takes the rain up to the north. So tomorrow will be a dry day through most parts of the country. Still some showy rain across the east of Scotland, even into tomorrow afternoon. But most places dry out tomorrow. However, you'll notice that the next area of rain is developing just out to our west-southwest by tomorrow evening. And that's only going in one direction. That pushes in across England and Wales as we get through to Monday, giving quite a wet day for England and Wales on Monday. And then we're going to showery conditions late Monday to Tuesday. And then later Tuesday, here comes the next deluge. That's bringing really wet weather across many parts of England and Wales, particularly from Tuesday into Wednesday. Won't be at all surprised if we have a few problems with flooding around the middle part of the week again. Further showers, if not longer spells of rain on Wednesday. Then all that gets out of the way through Thursday and Friday. We go into this colder and slightly drier northerly flow. Could be showers around. They're mainly peppering the coast. Most places turning dry overnight. Frost will be an increasing risk in the second half of the week. There's that low trying to come in from the Atlantic, but it just sort of gives us a very slight glancing blow in the far southwest and then slips away into France. However, we've got that low diving down the North Sea, which other models don't really show, so this part probably quite unreliable, but there's a band of showery rain moving southwards, heavy rain in the North Sea. That could threaten very wet weather to eastern coastal areas. And the suggestion of a little bit of snow is there across northern areas, in particular for central and northern parts of Scotland. We finish up on day 10 looking drier and quite cold, but this is a warm front that's waiting out just to our west. This band of rain here is a warm front that is going to try and push in milder west or southwest winds. I suspect that will move across the country, taking some showy rain with it, and then lift the temperature by the 4th of December. These are the options that are on the table within the ECM ensembles today at day 10, which is the 3rd of December. So we have 34 members of the ECM ensembles that have a ridge of above average heights just to our west-southwest at day 10, and Mardera is trying to move in around the top of that ridge from the Atlantic. Probably up to day 10, still quite cold with Bow, and there will be a risk of frost. And then 17 just here that are more definitively colder. We have this ridge of above average heights to our west-northwest. The trough of below average heights is to our east. And we bring down quite a cold northwesterly to northerly airstream. With that, it does include the control and the operational ECM runs. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got for the 8th of December. So 23 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure centred over the top of the country are going to be very unsettled, obviously, bring loads of wet weather with won't be particularly mild either, actually probably quite cool. 11 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure up to our north and west. High pressure is down to our south, and we're bringing in a milder westerly wind. 10 with low pressure over Scandinavia. High pressure is down to our southwest, setting up a cold northwesterly flow with that one, possibly quite stormy. That would be probably similar to what the extended GFS 6 o'clock run was showing later through the first week of December, going into sort of a cold zonal type flow. And then 7 with high pressure just about centred over the country, a little bit to our west-southwest. Again, probably Mardera beginning to feed in across the top of that ridge. Lots of though quite cold up to day 10, and then generally I think the trend is to turn things milder, but perhaps stormier as we go further through the first week of December. We shall see about that. Finally, the CFS V2. So these are 500 millibar heights broken down into weekly periods. The first week period takes us from the 23rd, 29th of November. The coming week has above average heights up to the north, below average heights down to the southwest. So it's quite unsettled for the south. For the north, it's a little bit drier. Temperatures overall aren't that exciting. In week 2, this is the 30th of November to 6th of December, we take the high pressure out to our west with low pressure as a trough through northeast parts of Europe. That's colder, of course. Yeah, it's coming down from the north with that. The coldest weather is actually over Scandinavia and northeastern parts of Europe with that trough of low pressure. We're on the periphery of the cold plunge, but I think that will be pretty chilly through the first week of December. It is a change on what the CFS has been showing for the past few days. CFS has generally been quite keen on a mild opening week to December, but that certainly looks a little bit on the colder side now for the first week of December. Eventually, the CFS does get us to mild conditions. This is week 3, the 7th to the 13th of December, has high pressure over Spain. Low pressure is still over Scandinavia, but also developing to our north. We're re-establishing a west-southwesterly flow, so that's getting us back into milder conditions. And then week 4 rounds it all off. It's the 14th to the 20th of December, heading up towards Christmas, of course, with high pressure again centred over Spain and France. Low pressure is to our north. Winds are wafting up very mild air from the southwest, and that's getting us back into much milder conditions. But the CFS has delayed that by a week, so it's been pretty keen, actually, the CFS to have the first week of December get that mild push from the southwest. Now that's pushed back from week 2 to week 3. So it's just probably going to get us to milder conditions in the end. So it can take a little bit longer to get there. But we shall see. Sometimes these models are too progressive in breaking down the ridge and returning us into west-southwesterly flow. So that part of it in around 10 days' time, or just beyond 10 days' time, is a little bit up in the air, if you pardon the pun. But certainly the next few days, going to be a lot of rain to come, particularly for England and Wales. Then it turns drier and colder at the end of the week into the weekend. Probably quite a cold weekend. Watch out for frost and fog. Early next week may start to see, or early the following week, may start to see something milder heading back in from off the Atlantic. That's a very, very long way out, of course. Right, so that's it for video number 2 today. We'll be back this evening with the CFS 6 months look ahead, probably sometime around 6 to 7 o'clock this evening. And then tomorrow, as I say, going to be an epic day of updates. We begin with the 13th and final winter update. It's going to be an analog special. We're going analogs crazy with that one. We're also going to have the ECMWF, Metro France and DWD seasonal model update tomorrow. As well as that, we're going to have another Christmas update. And there'll be a live stream on YouTube between 5 and 6 o'clock discussing the winter update and no doubt many other things too. I'll probably be ready to collapse in a heap by tomorrow evening, but we will get all of that done for you. Going to be a really, really busy day, so keep checking back to all of the updates of videos and live streams and whatnot. And we'll see you later on for the CFS 6 o'clock ahead. Thanks for watching.